So let's go to the next guy. Who do you want to go to next? I'm thinking probably Jabari Smith.
Yeah, we can go Jabari Smith. Okay. So Jabari for me has, I feel like watching his games at Auburn, he's almost like growing up before our eyes, like a super prospect. But I remember that UConn game late, he kind of went takeover mode. You need to see that. And now in games since then, it's not just the trail, catch and shoot. I'm in the mid post, pinch post, make a play. Now he's getting a little bit more comfortable with 1 to 2 dribbles, step back, 1 to 2 dribbles, pulling up, 1 2 dribbles going to the rim. So he's even like evolving the type of offensive player that he is. And I was already intrigued enough with the defensive stuff, the lateral quickness, the way he stretches the floor, both in different types of offensive sets. Like that was the thing for me that really pulled me in. It's always shooting at that size and having more floor spacers, but playing with legit nastiness and through physical play in the paint and at the rim. That's why he's on an upward trajectory for me. It's going to be hard to get that 1-2 conversation for my money. But again, though, another guy that's going to have, if he's number 1 on a couple of draft boards, like I'm not going to be surprised.
I think I would have him at number 2 right now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 1.
No, I wouldn't have him.
So who's going to 4? This is the hot take machine. If Jaden Ivey's 3,
I still have Jaden. I still have Jaden at 4, but it's close. It's very, very close. I have Jabari Smith at number 2 right now. And the reason is that he is 6'10", and I think he's one of the best shooters at that size I've seen in terms of being a prop. Like I think he is still 18. Is that right?
I think so. I can look up on the fly here, but it sounds right.
Yeah, I believe he's still 18. And just the mechanics are pristine. The results are pristine. Everything you could ask for from Jabari Smith as a shooter, he puts it together. I mean, there's just nothing. There's nothing to complain about there. And on top of it, his defensive ability is pretty real. Like he's a great weak side rim protector, and he can slide his feet in space and really defend. So I look at Jabari Smith and I like his frame a little bit better than Chet Holmgren. I definitely like the shot better than Chet Holmgren. I don't love his defensive instincts in comparison to Chet, but Chet has like preternatural defensive instincts.
Different though, because Jabari,
different player.
Even more like in the lanes, more active hands than Chet does as the active hand rim protection. As a quick note, don't to cut you off, he is 18. He turned 18 in May. His dad is 44. That was the first age that popped up. So I'm like, I don't think he's 44. I know we have super seniors in college basketball this year. He's not one of them. Are you worried with Jabari Smith at all? One kind of negative here is he still needs more strength at his base. And what I've noticed a lot too is some of these drives, which I was complimenting for him to take, there's been more guys, and I'm sure this is part of the scout, like digging down from the perimeter, poking the ball away, punch the ball away, and he will turn it over. He's made a couple crazy like post-entry passes for turnovers that I didn't like. Does any of that stuff kind of give you pause, or is that just part of the process of him figuring it out too?
No, it absolutely gives me pause. I think that's really my concern right now, is his ability to handle the ball, his ability to make plays whenever defenders like really crowd into him. I would like to see him do some more, Like I think there is more room for growth with him as a real shot creator, as a real driver, essentially as someone who I trust to make plays. But because he's so good already defensively and because he's such a good shooter, I think he's someone that can get on an NBA court pretty quickly and then work to improve just that, like, look, part of it's processing, I think, and part of it is just overall ball handling ability. I think that if he improves the ball handling ability, the processing, which isn't bad already, like he's not bad in terms of feel for the game, I think that'll come from him. So if you're telling me, I think he has a higher, in terms of the way the NBA is going right now, I think Jabari Smith, his ceiling is higher than anyone else in this class, I think.
Higher than Chet?
If he becomes a real shot creator, if he becomes like someone who can handle the ball, and we've seen some flashes there already, the shooting is already so high level, the defense is already pretty good. he can essentially be one of these big 6'9", 6'10" wings who are shot creators. Like there are like some Paul George-y outcomes, I think, in his absolute ceiling. Like
right.
if everything goes right,
he'd have to polish up the dribble a lot. Like I don't think that he's nearly in the
stratosphere
of Paul George, but that's the absolute top of the ceiling. Sure.
He's nowhere near there yet. But neither was Paul George when he was young. And Jabari is such a high-level shooter entering the league and is already pretty good defensively, to where it's hard to find guys with that kind of size who bring those kind of skills to the table already. And I know that ball handling is hard to improve, but there have been enough flashes there already to where, I don't know, man. I think there's some of, like, I think there is some of that there.
There's some, and also this is a very different player, and I don't want people to freak out because Evan Mobley's been really good, but one of the knocks I have on Evan Mobley, and I have to teach myself every time I look at a big to not make the same mistake I did last year and have him fourth, should have him second. Another story, another day, is that Evan Mobley, a lot of his stuff last year, where he would drive to the middle, he'd drive to the paint, he get bumped off his path. He'd still score, but always my concern was what happens in the NBA when that rim protector is bigger and even stronger than the guys you're playing in the Pac-12. But like Mobley, he still finishes at a really high percentage because he has such a soft touch. So a normal 12-foot shot may turn into like a little bit of a 14-foot fadeaway because you got an elbow on your back and you kind of have to adjust.
And on top of that too, like in college basketball, he's getting an elbow in the back and he's getting like a knock from the side. And then he has like a rim protector in front of him because the court is just so condensed in college basketball compared to the NBA.
Yeah, and the stuff on him right now is to pack the lane, pack the middle, and he's a tough assignment because he can shoot from three, put it on the floor a little bit. The handle has to tighten to get that level, but I get all the ceiling stuff. I'm excited for him as a player too, and I'm not mad if I get that guy at 3 or 4. I think I'd be ecstatic.